evening, guys. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at the Vostok Europe Anchar limited edition watch. Now this is a watch I purchased from Craig Hester at Russia to All, who is an authorized dealer for Vostok Europe. Vostok Europe is a company based out of Lithuania that produces watches using a variety of movements. Initially they were producing watches using Russian movements from the Russian Vostok company. These are two separate companies that share the Vostok brand. This particular watch, the Anchar, is a piece that is limited to 3,000 per color combination. So to give you some history about the Anchar is a submarine developed in the latter 1950s by the Soviet Navy to be the world's fastest nuclear attack submarine. It was called Project 661 Anchar, and only a single vessel was actually produced. The hull was made entirely of titanium and was able to achieve a maximum speed of 44.7 knots, or about 51.4 miles per hour. Now you can see this watch is presented in a nice plastic dive case. First, when you open it, you'll see there's a Vostok Europe logo in the lid. They include a little instructional manual going over some of the features. Brief description on how to change the straps. This is an interchangeable strap set. There's a little card describing the warranty and where to send the watch for warranty repairs. Also included is a document listing the individual case number and the water testing. Looking at the case itself, there's multiple compartments. Like I said, this is a watch set, so it comes with two separate changing tools for changing out the straps. Also in the kit is a leather strap with red contrast stitching and a black NATO style strap with red contrast down the center. Now the watch itself is constructed of 316L stainless steel. The watch measures 48.5 millimeters in diameter and 16 millimeters in thickness. The lug spacing is 24 millimeters. There's a screw down crown at the 2 o'clock position, and the case is rated for a water resistance of 30 atmospheres or 300 meters. There's a unidirectional 60-click rotating diver's bezel, and you'll notice if you look closely the bezel tapers or angles inwards towards the crystal. The crystal is a really wide, flat mineral crystal with anti-reflective coating. Now, on the dial, this particular watch features tritium gas tubes. Those are the pale yellow markers that you see on the inner bezel as well as on the hands. Most of them glow a pale green, but the tubes located at the 12, 3, 6, and 9 position glow in a pale yellow color. I'll try and have a loom shot on this video as well. One thing that I find very interesting with this watch is that the main hour hand is shaped in a large arrow with two tritium tubes embedded within it. I think that's a pretty neat design that they've added to this watch. Also, the main seconds hand, which is bright red in color, has a large anchor design at its base, which is also pretty neat in keeping with the kind of the naval design and the submarine theme. Now the movement powering this watch is the NH35A Japanese automatic, which is made by Time Module Corporation, which is affiliated with Seiko. The movement is a 24 joule automatic with a bidirectional winding rotor. It has a frequency of 21,600 beats per hour and a 41-hour power reserve when fully wound. This movement does have a hacking function. Looking at the case back, the case back features an etched diagram or drawing of the Anchar submarine, along with the K162 numbering of the submarine that was produced. Also, down at the bottom, you'll see the individual limited edition case number for this particular watch. So the strap itself is black silicone rubber. It's very soft, and it has Vostok Europe written across it. You'll notice that the strap integrates flush against the case, so it's custom fit for the case. Again, it's attached to the case by these star-shaped screws on either side, and that's why they include the two tools to help you swap them out. The case itself is beautifully finished. It's got a nice polished sides and then brushed finish across the tops of the lugs. All right, here's a wrist shot for you guys. Just for reference, my wrist is 7 3/4 inches. This watch at 48 millimeters is definitely in the oversize range, but the watch is very comfortable. The lugs do curve down to kind of contour to the wrist. The silicone strap that it comes on is very soft and conforms very nicely around the wrist. So I thought I'd give you a quick look at how the watch looks on some of the other optional straps that it comes with. Here's the watch on the leather strap with the red accents. You can see that the red accent stitching matches the dial very well. And the leather strap is actually very comfortable. It's quite thick. Comes with a nice polished buckle with the Vostok logo on it. You can see it's quite thick. It actually tapers down towards the buckle. It's thicker at the case. And just like the silicone strap, it's molded to fit the case exactly. Okay, so here we have the Anchar with the NATO strap installed. Again, I installed it with the buckle away from my wrist. And you can see, it has that really bright red stripe down the center, and it really plays well with the bright red accents on the dial. So it's very comfortable. There's plenty of length in this strap. I tucked the extra into the outer buckle, but you can see how much length there is. And again, my wrist is 7 3/4 in circumference, so there's still plenty of room. I'm all the way down close to the innermost opening on the strap. Alright, so I thought I'd go over a little demo of the strap exchange on this watch. Most watches that you'll see have a spring bar that goes across that holds the strap in place. This one actually has a screw and a tube system. That's why they include these two screwdrivers, because they use a special star-shaped screw to hold the strap in place, and the star-shaped screw has the same star shape on both ends. So what I do is they have one tool that's longer and the other one that's shorter. You can see here. Put the shorter one in the one side, which is going to be stationary because I'm holding the case down so that the case doesn't move around. And then the other side I push in place, and I just turn the one side. So I use the one side to loosen the entire screw. Basically, I'm stabilizing the screwdriver with the palm of my hand and just gently twisting with my fingertips. You don't want to put too much pressure on it, because if the screwdriver slips off the screw, then you might gouge the case with a screwdriver. But I find that this star-shaped screw actually has a little post in the center. I don't know if you can see, it might be too small. But that actually holds the screwdriver in place a lot better than some of the other small screws that you'll find on watches. So again, I'll take the right hand screwdriver, put it in place on the screw, hold the case down with my index finger here, and the other screwdriver I put in place on the other side, I stabilize the screwdriver with my palm here, and I just gently turn with my fingertips. To loosen the screw. Until it comes out. Now, you might find that the tube portion is still embedded in the case. So to release that, just take the screwdriver and push it against the opening that the little male end screw came out of, and that'll pop the other end out, so you can slide it out. So you see this one is kind of a long threaded tube. Actually, what I found is this tube is actually threaded on both ends, and this other end is actually another screw just like this. But you'll find that one of them will loosen as opposed to the other one will stay in place. Now, if you're installing it to wear, I would recommend putting some thread lock in the screws so that they don't loosen up and fall out with wear. And the strap comes out, and you can see it has little pegs on the case side that match up with the little indentations on the case. So when you put it back on, it aligns properly. So the one thing that they do mention in their little handout is that the first time you install some of these straps, they may be a little tight for the screw to be able to fit through. So what they recommend is you take the screwdriver that's included and just gently turn it in either end of the strap to slightly widen the hole so that the screw can pass through easier. Alright, so that's just a brief look on how to remove and exchange the straps on this watch. Overall, I really like the looks of this watch. I like the black and red color combination that they've used on the dial. I like the very unique hour hand with the large arrow shape, incorporating the tritium tubes. Also, I really like the bright red seconds hand with the anchor at the bottom. I think that the bezel design with the angling towards the crystal is very interesting, as well as the positioning of the crown at the 2 o'clock position. What's really nice is they've included an entire kit with this watch, included in this nice diver's style plastic case. The added straps are a very nice touch, and they all are in keeping with the dial design of the watch, using the black straps with the red accents. The included tools are also very nice. And overall, I think the presentation is well above and beyond what one would expect from a watch in this price range. So, if you guys like this watch, I'll put the links to Russia to All's website at the bottom of this video. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them below, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more reviews coming up in the future.